Hey, welcome back. Today, we are going to solve one of the most common grammar puzzles out there. You know, the one that trips up so many of us. And the best part? The solution is just a simple little trick you'll never forget.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're typing out an email, maybe a text, and suddenly, you just stop. You end up saying both versions out loud, trying to figure out which one just sounds right. Well, you can forget about all that guesswork, because today, we're going to give you a foolproof method.
Okay, let's dive into this. Believe it or not, the entire solution is hiding in plain sight, right here on this single page. So the source we're using for this explainer, it's super direct. It lays out this brilliant little hack that makes getting this right every single time totally effortless.
Okay, so before we jump into the main trick, we need to cover one quick idea that the guide brings up. It's called the complement. And honestly, it's just a simple little concept about how sentences are built. But it really helps explain why we get so mixed up between I and me to begin with. So here's the official definition, straight from our source. Basically, a complement is just a word or even a phrase that comes after a verb and tells you more about the subject. You can think of it as, well, completing the idea of what the sentence is all about.
Let's take a look at the example from the guide. It is super straightforward. The bird was hungry. In this case, the bird is our subject, right? And that word hungry, that's the complement. It comes right after the verb was, and it tells us something about the bird.
See? Super simple, right? Now, understanding that helps, but the real confusion with I and me kicks in when you add another person into the mix. So let's go ahead and tackle that puzzle right now.
All right, here we go. It's time to tackle the big one, the I versus me puzzle. This is where, so many of us get tangled up. But I promise you, the solution is way simpler than you probably think.
So here's the absolute key. I is the subject. I is the one doing the action. So whenever you're the one performing the verb, playing, loving, walking, you're going to use I. The word me gets used in other parts of the sentence, but not when you are the one in charge.
And you know what's really helpful here? Seeing them side by side like this. The incorrect versions, they might even sound kind of casual or normal to you, but grammatically they're just not right. In both of the correct sentences, Susan and I, and Harry and I, that's the subject. We are the ones doing the playing and the loving.
Okay, so the rule itself makes sense, but let's be real. In the heat of the moment, who has time to stop and analyze sentence structure? So the question is there an easier way? Oh yeah, you bet there is.
And this is it, the big reveal. Our source literally calls this the easy-to-remember trick. And honestly, it really is. If you take away just one thing from all this, let it be this trick. It will solve this problem for you forever. This right here is the magic formula, straight out of the guide. And the logic is just so simple. If the sentence still makes sense with only you in it, then you've picked the right word. So let's break down exactly how this works. So here are the steps, plain and simple. You just start with your full sentence, then you mentally kind of block out the other person's name and the word and. Then you just read what's left. I'm telling you, your ear will know the answer instantly. Okay, let's actually test this out with the example from the guide. If we start with Sally and me walked, and we take out Sally and, what are we left with? Me walked. Yeah, that sounds totally wrong, right? But if we try it with Sally and I walked, and we take out Sally and, we get I walked. See? It sounds perfect because it is perfect. It's really that simple.
So, okay, we've solved the puzzle, we have the trick, but you might be thinking, why does a little thing like this even matter in the grand scheme of things?
Well, at the end of the day, grammar rules like this, they're not about being a know-it-all or just passing a test. They're actually tools. Think of them like a shared code that we all use to make our ideas really clear and effective. When you use the right word, you're just removing this tiny little bit of static, this friction, and it makes everything you communicate just that much smoother.
And really, that's the main takeaway here. You don't have to memorize a bunch of complex grammar rules. All you need to remember is this one simple trick. Just remove the other person from the sentence and listen. Your ear is going to guide you to the right answer every single time.
So, as we're wrapping up, it kind of leaves us with a bigger thought, This one tiny distinction between I and me can make everything you write just feel more polished, more clear. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other little rules of language are out there that pack such a huge punch in how we communicate and understand each other? Anyway, thanks so much for joining me for this one.